Hello, hello, everybody. It is Tiffany Roberts. If you are joining me live, give me a wave, give me a like, give me a thumbs up, and let me know that you are here. If you are watching the replay, drop a replay in the comments below so that I know that you are watching it in the replay. I'm so grateful that you guys are all here today. Today we are going to talk about being grateful. For those of you that don't know me, I am Tiffany Roberts, and I absolutely love supporting people who are motivated to improve their health and happiness. I'm motivated to help you cultivate more gratitude in your life, and this will actually lead to overall happiness and healthier lifestyle and improve many aspects in your relationships as well. So today we'll explore exactly how this is possible between the science behind gratitude, mental and emotional benefits, the physical benefits, even ways that you can start to practice gratitude more in your daily life. And we're going to cover it all. Okay, so I am Tiffany Roberts. My husband and I are functional medicine practitioners, and we have a office here in Prairie Village, Kansas, and we love to help others optimize their health through their lifestyle and nutrition. So, if you are interested in that, let us know. We'll definitely try to help you out. If you have questions during this presentation, let me know, and I will try to answer those as quickly as possible, as I am here to help you. All right. So this might seem a bit of a dumb question, given the fact that we're all here to talk about, but gratitude is a relatively easy concept to misconstrue. The Oxford English Dictionary defines gratitude as the quality of being thankful, readiness to show appreciation for, and to return the kindness. Pretty straightforward, right? Yeah. Well, it is. Yeah. The only place where the confusion arises is when we develop contrasting understandings of what deserves or requires our gratitude. So the ability to express gratitude freely is something, a significantly high level of people struggle with. And the unfortunate consequences of muddled belief systems and lack of personal expression have led to gratitude sinking further down on the list of relationship priorities. So, with influencing factors including culture and upbringing and conditioned beliefs, life experiences and core values, it's understandable that one person's definition of of what elicits an expression of gratitude in any context will differ greatly from someone else. It's also easy to dismiss missed opportunities of expressing things, or performing acts of kindness. And since today's world has unfortunately become almost too busy to assign, much importance to them, when you come into our office and you sign up for one of our programs, before we even start, we say your responsibility is to pay it forward and to express gratitude on a daily basis. And this is something that, we really have to help teach them. But gratitude is very important. It's so important, in fact, that scientists now consider it more than just an action. Gratitude is now considered by science as an actual positive emotion. The effects and the impacts of which on overall mental and physical health have been studied much more closely than just gratitude itself. So there is scientific studies that they're actually going in and actually saying this is something that really needs to be looked at. So the different understanding, definitions, and expression of gratitude make it difficult to measure on a scientific scale. Yet neuroscientists have discovered ways to measure levels of hormonal response and areas of the brain which are stimulated by and during the act of gratitude. It has allowed us to take a closer look at the psychological and emotional benefits of practicing gratitude, something which before may have seemed, slightly intangible. Oxytocin is nicknamed the happiness hormone because of its association and release during the sensations of happiness or intense satisfaction. It's produced by the hypothalamus and secreted by the pituitary gland, and also plays a crucial role in the childbirth process and helps with male reproduction. Completing an act of gratitude is just one of the more casual ways that this is released. Another great thing to note is that oxytocin is directly counteracts the fight or flight hormone, and we talked about that last week in the medicinal mushroom talk. It directly affecting and reducing your stress levels, so it's very important. The very nature of neuron responses in the brain means that it's through repetition and familiarity. That is the pattern associated with gratitude, and oxytocin releases become strengthened, foregoing lasting pathways for its transmission. As such, this enables us to be more reliable baseline supply of oxytocin or any other, behavioral associated hormone, which over time causes the gradual increase in overall contentment and happiness. And this is very important in today's society. So another feel-good chemical, which the brain actually releases during the acts of gratitude, is dopamine. Dopamine turns on your brain's learning centers and allows you to feel more energized, motivated, and content with your present situation. This in turn leads to heightened levels of concentration, which causes higher levels of productivity and thus increases overall work-related success and happiness. So are you starting to see how it's all interlinked? Our energy levels are directly linked to the amount and quality of sleep we get, and so the impact of gratitude on sleep quality should also be analyzed more closely. A recent study found that in moments before falling asleep, grateful people are less likely to think negative and have worrying thoughts, and more likely think positive thoughts. The impact of this has an overall quality and duration of sleep and subsequent levels of energy the following day. And this is significant as negative thoughts are linked to disturbed sleep, dreams, and even lowered physical functioning and cortisol production during the sleep time. Dopamine is also considered the most important chemical reaction in the body when it comes to initiating action. So this means increases in dopamine levels actually occur when a surge of adrenaline makes you take action for the first time or a long planned project. It's what makes you more likely to get up and actually do things. It's the brain saying, oh, let's do that again. It's also important to consider energy in terms of more than just how active we are on a daily basis. Everything that we are and do is energy, okay? We simply manipulate this depending on what we want to achieve and where we are and how we want to interact with people. And gratitude maximizes the value of our energy, and so it can often produce an uplifting effect. Considering how we spend and use our energy is important if we are to assess ways to put it to better use through expressing gratitude and thanks. So where do you use your energy most? Can you comment down below and let me know how you use your energy? So it's this boost of positive energy that might cause your small act of gratitude to multiply and transform into a more positive day. The study on positive psychology observed how high states of coherence associated with sustained states of gratitude caused DNA strands to unwind and lengthen, while fear, anxiety, frustration, and stress caused DNA to actually tighten and become shorter and switch off any of its codes. That's not good. In the first case, the excess energy which is required to do the tightening and strengthening of strands is not being used on these outlets. And so the additional energy remains to be used in more general capacity. The lengthened strains of DNA correspond to the sensations of feeling more relaxed and releasing tension, which has, many scientific and energetic possibilities. As Penny Pierce asked in her book, Frequency, the Power of Personal Vibration, might this cause your DNA to evolve beyond disease and aging as we know it? Something we should consider. This is a large assumption that the gratitude can make us immortal, right? And yet there is definitely some correspondence between lowered level of disease and heightened energy levels with gratitude, causes that could contribute to overall longevity. So I definitely suggest that you read Penny's book. Similarly, the second thing we want to talk about that I've shared below, I'll share the link below, explores the impact on exposure to positive energies such as gratitude during younger years and its effects on longevity. It's a very detailed and thorough study, which I feel proves the suggestion that gratitude increases the potential of leading a longer and healthier life. So there are many benefits of utilizing gratitude as a means of therapeutic intervention for many common mental and emotional disorders. When consciously choosing what you've chosen above other less happiness-inducing habits, gratitude as a practice has extremely healing qualities that allow the practitioner to engage with the feelings of contentment and balance and satisfaction in the moment. When done steadily over a period of time, this gratitude has been scientifically observed to positively impact these conditions. Expressing gratitude for gifts, favors, or even just another person's presence can help increase attachment and encourage closeness. People who do not express gratitude, conversely, are sometimes resented by others, causing a downward spiral of negative and harmful emotions. The practice of selflessness, whether by nature or by intent, to stop, the thought patterns that coincide with the likes of depression and anxiety, ultimately have the effect of taking the person from their preoccupied thoughts of head stuff and into the physical body and immediacy of their reality. So, and I'll put this study in the link below, but the study looked at various mental health disorders and their relationship to gratitude when used as a means of therapeutic treatment. So I'll put that in there as well. So do you have experience, with this? Leave a comment below if you do. I would love to hear it. One really interesting thing about gratitude is that it doesn't just affect our immediate reality, okay? It also has a capacity to impact our memories and our past experiences. This is not to say that gratitude can change the past, but rather that it has the capacity to change how our perception of the past is. So let's think about that. A lot of times we actually coach our patients here about the past memories or emotions that they have. So remembering something in a resentful manner, you conjure up feelings of hurt and anger and can, very often slip into the mode of playing the victim or whatever the situation was. even if it may not have been specifically intended to you. Okay? So by shifting our perception to understand the same situation with a different viewpoint, one of gratitude for the experience of those feelings, emotions of life lessons, we can automatically make peace with the issue and successfully use our newly gratified memory of it to move forward from a place of knowledge and learning and actually open up healing. Inevitably, this newfound acceptance and acknowledgement of whatever situation makes it easier to let go. And by doing so, you can improve, our levels of happiness. I'll also put this link in below. This study actually showed a hugely insightful look at the expression of gratitude and overall heightened levels of happiness and contentment. So another major area of study involving the benefits of gratitude surrounds the impact that it has on our relationship with others. And this is not limited to romantic relationship, and yet scientists have also coined the term the Losada ratio to measure the ratio of positive expression, which is encouragement and appreciation, to the number of negative expressions or disapproval, sarcasm, cynicism, of married partners. And in the study, when it was completed, it was found that more satisfied and long-lasting marriages were those with positive ratio above 5.1, the 5 positive expressions to a negative 1. This shows clearly the impact reoccurring positive affirmation and acts of genuine gratitude have on a romantic relationship. In terms of general relationships, both positive and negative social bonding, which occurs through most everyday interactions, also have the capacity to improve our happiness and level of overall contentment. Again, this has to do with our levels of oxytocin. Perceived partner responsiveness underlies relational intimacy and is associated with a feeling of understood, accepted, and cared for, as Reese and Clark assessed in their 2004 study on human intimacy. And it is an important situational trigger for feeling gratitude upon, receipt of benefit, which in turn generally elicits a response for receiving, party to reciprocate similar gives. Okay, so if you give something, they might more likely be able to give to you as well. In similar terms, it just means that the recipient of gratitude, the receipt of gratitude is a stimulant to give gratitude. So as a result, the receiver feeling more valued and appreciated. So emotional intelligence is a hugely important factor in establishing positive, healthy relationships, both with yourself and others. Emotional intelligence is the capacity to be aware of, control, and express one's emotions, and also be able to handle relationship in an empathetic and conscious way. When it comes to gratitude, emotional intelligence is key, as it helps us to be aware of when a relationship or situation requires or could benefit from the introduction of gratitude or some other emotion, like a child being bluntly honest about some aspect of his parents' private life in front of others. He's not emotionally aware enough to realize the feeling of embarrassment that this might cause. This is a very basic example, as emotional intelligence stems much further than child's ignorance. Once we reach adulthood, a lack of emotional intelligence can begin to cause problems in our relationships on both a work and private level, generally manifesting in high instances of miscommunication, misunderstanding, and the lack of ability to discuss or understand difficult emotions or situations. In Western society, this can largely be observed as the unwillingness to discuss pressing issues on account of the discomfort or the upset that this might cause. Instead of minimizing the issues, however, this contributes to the growth and quiet empowerment. For gratitude to have a positive impact, a person must first become aware of their emotional environment and how they interact with it. Having a baseline understanding of why and how feelings arise when they do, what habits have been learned and cultivated as a reaction to this or as a means of dealing with them, and knowing where change actually needs or doesn't need to take place in our emotional intelligence. The good news is that it's been proven that increasing gratitude can contribute to overall heightened emotional intelligence, as it calls into question the baseline awareness of emotions and how they impact any kind of given situation. So that's a good thing. It's funny interactions when someone thanks you for hard work and thoughtfulness and effort. You feel good because you feel your energy has been valued, and they feel good because they have received help and guidance in a certain area. They also have honesty, expressed gratitude for something which has assisted them and or enabled a level of comfort or happiness to be reached, which previously wasn't there, and you have thankfully accepted it. So it's a double-sided coin. Everyone benefits, right? This is part of why gratitude is so effective, and self-esteem, happiness, confidence are boosted, and in the majority of cases, there is a more positive and internal and emotional environment created for everyone involved. In terms of those who suffer from low self-esteem, gratitude can directly combat this and actually cause higher levels of satisfaction and self-belief, where before the individual may have been spiraling into a dangerous self-loathing circle, frequently associated with various mental health issues as well. It's also makes us directly focus on the positive rather than the negative. And by expressing gratitude for fortune or positive elements in life, the focus is shifted from the negative, mentally damaging aspects which contribute to, ramification and mental illness. So the study that I'll put below looks at adolescence, how gratitude influences certain variables in relation to depression, suicidal thoughts, and overall low self-esteem. The second link that I'll put below is more lighthearted approach, discussing how to use gratitude to make you feel better about yourself. So I will put that below as well. So sleep. We can all appreciate a good night's sleep, right? But did you know that it actually cultivates more gratitude throughout the rest of your day? Actually, and it adds to our ability to maintain levels of deep sleep for longer. I know that when you have a really good night's sleep, you're much happier during the day. So by accessing the positive side of life in our daily experiences before we settle down to sleep, we automatically invite a more settled and satisfactory ability to access and maintain a deeper level of sleep. This is why we always tell our patient to try to do a gratitude journal before you go to sleep. The study found that gratitude is uniquely related to total sleep quality, subjective sleep quality, sleep latency, sleep duration, and daytime dysfunction. So it states pre-sleep cognition meditate the relationship between trait gratitude and sleep quality. When falling asleep, grateful people are less likely to think negative and worrying thoughts and more likely to think positive thoughts. So this means that the way we spend our final waking moments before bed in our mental or our physical capacity have a considerable effect on the quality of sleep that we receive. So pre-sleep cognitions and gratitude were just some of the positive traits assessed by the investigators on that second study. And they're more broadly examined the impact of general positive thoughts on sleep. So if you don't have a gratitude journal before you go to bed, I would maybe suggest one. So have you ever felt overwhelmed at the prospect of plans changing last minute? I know some of you are. Even if it's just the slightest little adjustment in the schedule, it can sometimes be easy to lose our temper and let frustration win. The emotional battles that go along with this new situation. Along with emotional resilience and awareness, gratitude also allows us to cultivate the ability to adapt to change and challenging situations when they arise. So by learning to cultivate an attitude of gratitude to life and the world in general, we can slowly start to become more aware of the pleasure and positive sides to almost any situation, right? It might sound like we're coming across as overly passive, but it's, definitely favorable to getting stressed, when plans change. Gratitude isn't just blind positivity. And narrowing down on what we're grateful for in any given moment, you can really get to extract the beauty in surroundings and circumstances, no matter how small or irrelevant they may seem. As Ian Lawton states in the blog post, he said, adaptability is key to change and gratitude is key to adaptability because you see the gift in every time and place. I think that's very powerful. As change is the one constant, in any of our lives, I'm sure many of you will resonate with this. So what circumstances have you had to adjust to that required you to be grateful? Comment below on that. However irritating you may find the phrase attitude is everything, it is important to, if you're determined to cultivate more positive emotions and experiences in your life. The way we perceive a situation or set of challenges is ultimately the way things will actually manifest for our realities. Gratitude helps us focus on the positive elements and allows the opportunity for growth. As Shawn Achor discussed in his hilarious TED Talk, I'll put that below for you as well. The more we practice this mental shift from the problem finder to the grateful experiencer, the easier it actually becomes. This is linked to the neurological processes which occur in our brain when a new idea or practice is actually formed. The neurotransmitters are redirected from our habitual path or patterns that or patterns and are helped along a new path. Maybe it's a ritual instead of a habitual thing. The more we do this, the more familiar we become with a new path, and so the easier it becomes to instinctively go that way instead of returning down that damaging, path practiced before. In terms of productivity, this ability to repattern our thoughts, our thought process is so important to concentration and productivity levels as it allows us to ensure that we are in the right frame of mind in order to carry out any kind of tasks. This is also linked to emotional intelligence. As to redirect the thoughts and emotions, we must first be aware of them and acknowledge their impacts on our work. And this is only then that the positive changes can be impacted and carried out. I do recommend that you actually watch Shawn Achor's TED Talk. It's pretty good. Suppressing or negating to acknowledge emotions is actually damaging habit to fall into, and this includes gratitude. The act of suppressing feelings and emotions automatically belittles their existence and forces us to function on a lower level of our overall awareness. And as the honest and authentic emotions, they get silenced and ignored. This is not a good thing. Whether directly or indirectly, this will impact the quality of our relationships and our overall happiness. If this occurs over time, the suppressed or negative emotions will find other ways to manifest themselves into your life. And this can happen in a variety of extremely creative and crafty ways. When the emotion is not processed or digested in the mind or body, think of it as terms of actually digesting your food. This must go somewhere, right? That energy has to go somewhere. It may not immediately present itself in a form of, one obvious emotion or another, but gradually over time, the suppressed feelings will find a way in your life. There are ways to help the stuck energy generated by suppressed emotions to move again. Things like getting active, moving your body, journaling, talking with someone close to you can have a positive impact. And if you need further help, you can contact our office and we can help you with that. Showing gratitude and practicing every morning to start your day out right is one of the most effective ways. Gratitude and our natural inclination to practice it is hugely influenced by conditioned beliefs. Any norms which are associated directly with a social group as, such as family or peers, school environment, or another form of formal or informal education are usually the most impactful on young children. Given that between the age of 0 and 6 is when a child's ability to absorb and digest information and experience their surroundings is at its highest. It follows that environment we are exposed to during this critical stage of our development, and this will impact that person to their core values and their belief system. Enter gratitude. Our daughter is 5 years old and she does a gratitude journal every day. For instance, if a child is raised in a wealthy family and was brought up, not saying please or thank you for any casual interactions at home, it's more likely that he or she will have the issues of expressing and understanding gratitude as they get older. Whereas children that were brought up in a society where giving thanks and gratitude are cultural norms or even practiced religiously will more likely feel at ease with expressing themselves in this way, and as such may cultivate stronger, lasting relationships as a result. Conditioned beliefs also elicit conditioned responses, responding in a certain way to external events, which may or may not be rational, can also be problematic to gratitude expression. Over time, as the conditioned person becomes slowly more self-aware and able to differentiate between his or her patterns and the realities of how best to act or react in certain situations, it slowly becomes easier to rectify any irrational beliefs. Gratitude is one of the easiest places to actually start. So what we've discussed about gratitude thus far suggests that yes, gratitude can be cultivated and introduced into our lives in its absence, but wouldn't it just be easier if we actually taught our kids the value of this at the beginning? Gratitude is associated with a higher level of happiness and peace in kids, while also contributing largely to overall positive youth development. This directly corresponds to positive familial relationships and greater understanding of peer groups. And it's not difficult to see the potential benefits that this could actually have on a society as a whole. Introducing kids to practicing gratitude from a young age will help cultivate future generations for more self-aware adults with the ability to create and maintain stronger, more fulfilling relationships. Various kinds of gratitude practices also impact different areas of youth development. such as, moral gratitude and life orientation and gratitude, as discussed by the Kindler study. The potential for young people in particular to use gratitude as a means of contributing to society and instigating higher levels of positivity and motivation among peer groups is astounding. Using social integration as a measure alongside gratitude, a second study that I'm going to post below found that being grateful goes beyond young people simply having good manners. It is deeply ingrained means of communication and expression, which benefits the individual as well as the society as a whole. I'll be going over some of the ways to practice gratitude for kids here in a few minutes. So there are some straightforward ways to start teaching your kids the values of expressing gratitude. First, it's important to remember that children learn by example. This means that if parents and caregivers are already strong in their gratitude practices and beliefs, there is a much more likely chance of the child learning from what they observe rather than learning something because they are told to do it. Generating an attitude of giving can be done by such simple acts as writing a thank you note to relatives on receipts for gifts, as well as thanking your child regularly for completing chores or everyday tasks. This in turn makes it more likely that they will actually complete these tasks again without being asked. And, as such, it cultivates an overall healthier home environment for the parent and child relationship. Another simple action which can be taken is to openly thank friends and family in the presence of your child, and then afterward explain why you did it. Again, this is more effective than merely just telling the child to say thank you, or give them a hug and a kiss. Children want to know why these things are required of them. So make sure that you can do this by instructing it, doing it yourself. The same thing goes for gratitude practices. Make sure that you explain and give the reason why, and it'll make a huge difference in how they perceive things. As the Yale Center for Emotional Intelligence suggests, gratitude shouldn't merely be a passing thought or observation, but rather a regular practice, much like yoga and meditation. There are many ways that you can practice, and these methods will vary depending on your lifestyle factors and your environment. Perhaps the most effective and accessible way to do this is to start a gratitude practice, is simply to begin a gratitude journal. Writing down our thoughts and our beliefs has a way of cementing them like nothing else does. And by giving our thoughts and emotion to time and fully manifest and process their way through the mind and the body, we will fully allow them to exit in a present moment. And as such, we are more likely to be accepting of them. Remember, I said it's stored energy. You can write it out, and it's actually releasing that energy. Solidifying beliefs and teasing out truths and meaning behind them starts from this place of certainty, which we can write and begin to keep track of with our daily journaling and our gratitude practice. For anyone wondering how to start journaling, it's pretty straightforward. Just get a journal, a pen, open it up, and just start writing. It doesn't matter what you write, just write. 10 minutes every day out of our hectic schedule can actually change the way that we view our hectic schedule entirely. Giving your emotions and thoughts priority for these few moments is so important, not just for gratitude practices, but for countless other mental health issues as well. There are numerous expressions of a 30-day challenge, and we've come to understand it today, mostly surrounding fitness and nutrition, designed to achieve and perceive our healthy physical body. So why not try a 30-day challenge of journaling to see if it improves your mental fitness? It's a difficult process to envision, but once you start, it can really take effect very quickly. Your gratitude journal doesn't have to involve paragraphs or prose some long language. It can be as simple as just making a list of the things that you're grateful for. Today I'm grateful for the sunshine outside, a healthy breakfast, a good night's sleep that I just had. So doing the same thing in the evening before bed, it can be effective to reflect on the happiness of the day and include, the rest of the day. So, definitely practice that for 30 days. Voicing our gratitude isn't quite as straightforward as acknowledging it. As we've already discussed, many people struggle to express emotions in the simplest of circumstances, let alone recognizing the often vulnerability-laden sensation of gratitude. While we might be able to rationally and intellectually see how we should be grateful for our set of circumstances, there is a difference between this and allowing ourselves to take down the walls that we actually build around the importance of having control and certainty and just appreciate the things that are. This means appreciating where we are without constantly striving to plan or to think of the next task and think of the thing that just changed or worse, or comparing it. Just letting go. Self-confidence is not necessarily a requirement to gratitude practice, and yet it is a quality which is strengthened through the practice. By accessing the genuine affection that resides within all of us for the blessings and the positive things in life, we are automatically connecting to the part of us that is timeless and authentic, regardless of the circumstances. It is the authentic self which plays a vital part in our ability to let go of conditioned beliefs and preconceived ideas about what we should or shouldn't feel. Speaking about our true opinions and authentic beliefs, then comes much easier and gradually will lead to a surge of self-confidence. So another way to practice gratitude is meditation. Gratitude meditation involves focusing on all awareness of the person, the thing, or event for which the person is actually grateful for, and sending all the energy and awareness there instead of letting it leak out everywhere else in life. It's an age-old practice which has gotten lost in our focus of personal gain and progression. According to Jack Kornfield, Buddhist monks begin every day with a chant of gratitude for the blessings of their life. Native American elders begin each ceremony with grateful prayers to Mother Earth and Father Sky, to the four directions, to the animal, the plant, the mineral brothers and sisters who share our earth and support our life. In Tibet, the monks and nuns even offer prayers of gratitude for the suffering they have been given. There are many, many ways to practice gratitude meditation, for which, can vary depending on your lifestyle and your location. It's at the core. Gratitude meditation is profoundly simple exercise, which can often, include just taking time to simply appreciate the water that is in your kettle as it boils for your coffee. In fact, it's so simple that you might not seem that you're actually doing it at first. But over time, the ability to stop and tune in and acutely to the present moment and appreciate the little drops of, coffee and, plume of steam that actually arises from the kettle will extend itself into another aspect of your daily life. And you'll start to notice that yourself becoming a little bit more present. Try one of these the next time that you're feeling a little anxious, stressed, or uneasy, and let me know what you think. The Chopra Center has some great audio meditations that you can listen to online at any time on your way to work, in bed, or even, an evening stroll. It doesn't matter. The point is that you actually tune in to both in the recording and yourself, and honestly assess how and why you want the meditation to be effective for you. And I will put that link below for you. There's several different links that you can actually tune into. So decision making and sticking to the decision is commonly observed symptom of anxiety and depression. An over anxious part of us knows that the importance of making a decision and yet also worries about every potential outcome that may arise after making a choice. Having the ability to be thankful for whatever situation arises after you make that choice is an example of an ongoing gratitude practice. All of a sudden, potential worries and uncertain outcomes are released from our need to control or dictate them, and we can easily proceed with our decision in the knowledge that yes, we cannot control or imagine every potential outcome. We can choose to be grateful for whatever does arise as a result of our actions, and by choosing this, we are ultimately choosing less anxiety, less stress, and also inviting more enjoyment and natural happiness into our lives. Forbes carried out a study on workers to ascertain their ability to make decisions in difficult and testing environments. The results show that the majority of workers who followed a gratitude plan noticed an increase in their levels of patience, meaning that they were more likely to pause before decision making and as such make a clearer, more informed and thought out process, more choice. The author David DelSalvo states that just as people in this study were preconditioned to feel grateful, there's likely benefits in putting ourselves in a grateful mindset to alter our perspective. So what we take from this is that gratitude is most beneficially used as a means to ensuring that we have a baseline capacity to perceive the positive elements of situations. Following this, the decisions that we based on these positive perceptions are more likely to be a positive outcome. I forgot to change the slide. Sorry, guys. If you haven't already been inspired enough to actually start exposing your kids to gratitude practice, check out this study, and I'll put the link below. Jeffrey Frock, a psychologist and researcher, created a gratitude curriculum for kids from ages 8 to 11. Here are 3 things that the children learned about the grateful feeling that we as adults could actually implement into our understanding. He defined an act of gratitude as when someone has intentionally done something to benefit us, providing this benefit was costly to them, and this benefit is valuable to us. Over several courses of gratitude lessons, I'll put the link below for you, he determined that by exposure, discussion, and informative, emotionally aware teaching, the overall levels of happiness and contentment within the school significantly increased. Studies were also carried out in less privileged schools to observe the risk associated with high risk and high stress environments for students, which had similar findings. So that's good. So as we near the end of our time together, I'd like to take this opportunity to allow you to think about your gratitude list right now. I want you to comment below one thing that you're grateful for today. It doesn't have to be long. You don't have to, share a very long one in the post. Just share something very simple. And I really want to encourage you to do these. Make sure that you're sitting comfortably and close your eyes and take a deep breath as you steady your mind. And take about 10 to 15 minutes to think about 3 things that you're grateful for in this moment. Not earlier today, not this weekend, but right now. Write them down. And if you feel like sharing in the group, please do so. I would love to see that. So take a few minutes to be honest with yourself and how you are feeling. Part of gratitude practice involves being emotionally aware and capable of acknowledging feelings for what they are when they arise. In this way, we become more capable of cultivating states of ease and calm because we are more attuned to the initial stages of sensations which might not be so calm and easy. It's all in our awareness. So did you notice any shifts in your mindset from practicing your gratitude? Be aware of that. So part of the reason why I love sharing this topic is because gratitude really is a gift that keeps on giving. And it is powerful ripple effect that can start with a simple thank you for someone who holds the door open for you and yet results in a lasting feeling of our self-worth, our strength, and emotional awareness. So if you have questions, I would love to answer them. I'll get back to them as soon as I can. Comment below and I will definitely answer them for you. So now it's my turn to express my gratitude for you. I am grateful for your participation today. I, really hope that you've learned beneficial ways that you can cultivate gratitude and all the benefits in your life. And I truly believe that gratitude has the potential to change the world and elevate our relationships. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. As always, post your questions. I'm here to answer and help you. Thank you so much for taking time today to be with me, and I am very grateful for all of you. Until next time, love yourself, love your life, and love each other.